Pat Robertson has had enough. On a recent episode of the 700 Club, Pat recalled a visit to the doctor that left him with no other choice than to call for a revolution. Pat.
We need a revolution in this country to change this stuff. You know, I had a little procedure, something done, and I'm sitting there, and this nurse is saying, well, tell us about this, and she's accessing into the computer. Well, how about how many vitamins you take, blah, blah, blah. How about something else, da, da, da. When did you have, da, da, da. And she spent forever and ever logging stuff into the computer because that's what they want to do. They want to have all those records. And you, well, how about me? I'm sick. Help me. Well, that's too bad. We've got to get the records fixed.
Socialism.
It isn't right. Ladies and gentlemen, we need a revolution to stop these so-called progressives from destroying this country anymore, but they're getting pretty close to the tipping point. It is not a pleasant scenario.
I ain't even mad. I can't be mad. He's funny. He's entertaining. I had a little something done, and da-da-da, and they're asking me da-da-da-da. I can't be mad at Pat Robertson. But here's an idea, man. Here's an idea, Pat. Maybe they want all those records so that they can actually make an accurate treatment plan for you. And maybe help you out. Have medicines that counteract, you might have da-da-da and da-da-da. So maybe you need to sit back and let the nurse actually do their jobs. Also, if I recall, hospitals and insurance companies have been switching over to digital record keeping before Obamacare. But as you can see, Pat Robertson kind of ignores that. But a more serious point is when they were like, socialism. Asking for your medical history is socialism? But a doctor forcing a woman to undergo an invasive procedure in order to get a constitutionally protected abortion is A-okay. Really? I don't know if they realize how ridiculous they sound. Nick?
First, I want to start off by poisoning the minds of everyone everywhere on Earth with my little comment. Now, there are a couple words you need to really pay attention to there. The first is little procedure and then something done. Therefore, he's clearly going for some penis enlargement. That's definitely what's going on right now. But on a more serious note, so enjoy that image in your mind, TYT Nation. And Jeff, I'm sorry I've killed your show. That's happened. But it's so funny that he thinks paperwork is socialism, or that she will associate with socialism. I don't even think she believes that. She's like, socialism. What? Pat's still talking? What? I fell asleep. Sorry, I can't listen to him for too long anymore. He just puts me to sleep. Because it's like, how paperwork isn't socialism. Every fucking company in the world does it. Every private company will do that. They want paperwork because they don't want you to be a fucking liability to them. They want to know exactly what they're getting into you so they know how to weasel the fuck out. That's what they do. So you think that this is socialism when you're being asked by a private insurance company or a doctor's office for a private insurance company to get your information. My goodness, Pat, you have really not been to the doctor's office in a long fucking time.
Well, I mean, I was going to say, it seems to be kind of my main talking point for tonight, that damned if you do, damned if you don't. If this nurse hadn't have taken any notes and just said, all right, Pat, how you doing, Mr. Robinson? Here's some more kind of pills. Here's some more morphine that's going to thin your blood out. You could say, oh, but I'm already taking some blood thinning pills. Yeah, well, we don't know that. We haven't got any notes in it, so we're just going to give you more pills. He'd come on the air and he'd moan and cry about, oh, this kind of Obamacare, this socialism. It means that doctors are kind of having to see more patients, so they're not being able to give valuable time to each individual patient. So now it's going to give bad health care to everyone. He would come up with another way to it. He basically just he got a little bit angry that he had to wait an extra 5 minutes telling the nurse about the kind of the reams of different drugs that he's on that's keeping his withered old body alive. He was annoyed that it was held up for an extra minute or two, and he just had to rant about it. And he hates socialism, so he would just smash the two things together and hope that people will listen to what he says. It's really sad. I mean, if he kept on talking, I imagine either him or his woman co-host would have eventually shouted out Benghazi. I wouldn't be surprised that, after his let's say alleged penis enlargement that he's had, when he orgasms, he probably shouts out Benghazi.
it wouldn't be all that surprising, to be honest with you. But seriously, a revolution over what? A doctor visit that took 5 minutes longer? And that gets in sort of the mindset of people like that. They're just looking, they're just itching to use any sort of excuse to overthrow our entire government. Doesn't that seem strange to you guys?
Well, I mean,
they're looking for any little excuse to say, we have to water the tree of liberty with blood once in a while. Dude, you guys are crazy. You guys need, if anybody needs Obamacare to be able to go see a mental health specialist, it's you guys. It's the people saying that shit.
Well, I mean, the thing is as well is that a bit later on in the video, we clipped out, but of course, there'll be a link to it in the descriptions. He's actually said, I didn't vote for Obama, and you may not have voted for Obama, but the country voted for Obama, and he's taking us down a dangerous path. And it's like, yeah, that's the point, Pat. Your side lost because we didn't like your ridiculous, nonsensical, and oftentimes no arguments at all, no propositions put up at all. You lost the argument. You're bitter. You're bitching about it. It's like, get over it. Actually, if you don't like Obama's healthcare plan, you come up with something that you prefer better. You come up with something that's going to help millions of people get health insurance. But he doesn't give a shit about the millions of people who get health insurance. He's not a real Christian. He doesn't care about helping the sick or the poor. He just cares about himself and getting his alleged penis enlargement.
But at least this time, we've got him to admit that the president was actually voted in legitimately. That's an important point. See? Silver lining and everything.
Yeah, small steps. We will eventually get there. Probably not in Pat Robertson's lifetime.
0.5% change, Jeff. 0.5% change. We've done it. We've got our change.
Mission accomplished. We have achieved Obama levels of change. See, look at that. We bashed Pat Robertson in one sentence, bash Obama in the next. We are fair and balanced, people. You will not find a more balanced panel than this.